Hello, Kelly. Welcome back. It's
Hi.
it's been ages, hasn't it?
It's been a long time.
What, like 3 weeks?
Has
We
it been
should
that
just one
long?
day we
It
should
feels
just
like it's
sit
been
down.
longer, I
I don't
guess,
even think
but
we could. I don't even think you and
uh-oh.
I,
We
with as
lost it.
much as we just talk and talk and talk and talk, we could have it be like a series. We should just talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and go for as long as we could possibly go, and
Oh,
then just chop it up into episode 1 of Kelly and Gina, episode 2 of
I
Kelly and
think we
Gina.
could go a good 12 to 14 hours.
We should have been recording the whole time at the retreat. I should have just had, I mean, well, technically we were. Joey was recording. So technically it was recording the whole time. But
We got
can you
every
imagine if you and I just had like little lapel mics on the whole time? And we
no.
could have live streamed it? I might do that. I might actually do that at the next retreat. I might live stream the whole thing.
I would couldn't watch myself. I would be mortified. I'd be like, oh my word.
Our husbands can tune in anytime and
They would love that.
fly on the wallet. Oh my heck.
You're hilarious.
Kelly, are you feeling better now? You've got your bearings a little bit since the retreat.
Yeah.
What
I
has it
knew
been?
I knew I was gonna
2
get
weeks?
home and go, did that happen? What was that? Because there was so much that we had to consume, so many good things. And so many things that I learned about myself that I can't even put into words yet. So that is so fun. And of course, everybody here asking, like I have so many people like, what was that? Where were you? What is this about? How, why? All the questions. So it's been, but it's like they expect me to explain it in one sentence because after a sentence they're done. And it takes more than that. So that's why it's good to talk about over and over again because it is so important. I was actually having a conversation with my mother-in-law yesterday in the garden about it all. And she had so many questions. And I said, we have a family rally call on Wednesday if you'd like to join us. So you don't know until you see it.
Yeah.
And it was so fun to be with everybody. But of course, like I think the exhausting part for me was just the traveling. And we were up late at night and up early in the morning ready for the next day. So,
Yeah,
but
felt like
yeah,
girls' camp. We
it's so
just
good.
giggled all night long.
We did.
Especially me and Kelly, my little trash panda.
My trash
Should we
panda.
tell his story? Okay,
Yes,
so
you should tell the
this is such
story.
a good story.
Mhm.
So I had thrown away this box. So while I was setting up for the retreat, I had this box that I was just throwing all the wrappers and all the grocery bags and all that, everything in. And so it was in the corner of the kitchen. Well, I said, oh, well, I need to throw that away. So I went and threw it away. And one of the girls was asking about, well, one of the rooms was really bright from a street light was shining through the window. And so we came up with this idea that we're like, oh, we could do the black garbage bags if we had some kind of tape or something. And I was like, well, I have those command strips. Where are they? And I'm like, oh, I bet they were in that box that I threw away. So I didn't think anything of it. Well, then we started getting ready for bed. Everybody was in bed already. And we were getting ready for bed. And I'm like, oh gosh, I probably should go get that box out of the dumpster because when I start packing up all these groceries to leave the next day, I will need something to pack them up in. And so Kelly's like, yeah, let's just go get it right now. And I'm like, no, we can just get it in the morning. She goes, no, 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 no. We're getting it while nobody's out there to see us doing this. It's nighttime. We can just like creep in, creep out. So we go out and this dumpster, luckily, but unluckily, was
I don't know.
empty,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah.
And so I just chucked it in so it was right on top. Well, Kelly jumps up on the rim of this dumpster and she's digging through the box and she finds not only the not only the command strips. I'm like, oh yeah, get those. She finds the Ziploc bag of any of you women who have the letterboard, right? The cute letterboard that you pop in the
Mhm.
little letters. And she'd found my Ziploc bag full of all the
Right.
letters. And I was like, oh crap. Yes, I'm so glad you found that. Give me that too. So we were like dumpster diving our own trash that we threw in. Well, so then she jumps back off of the rim of this dumpster and she's wearing my zip up Revitalize Womanhood hoodie. And my earbuds were in the pocket. And all of a sudden we hear this thunk thunk. Whoops. So unfortunately, but fortunately, again, it's empty. So I'm like, no, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I'm looking underneath with the flashlight, waiting for whatever, anybody that knows the desert, Southern Utah knows what kind of creepy crawlies are going to be waiting for me under
I
the
was already
dumpster.
having
Could have
a
been
hand.
snakes. I know Kelly starts
Oh,
putting her hand under and I'm like, don't do that. Don't
oh,
do that.
that's a
So
cockroach.
cockroaches, creepy crawlies, anything.
Oh,
Scorpions, hello,
yeah.
we've got them all. So anyway, it's not under there, and I'm like, Kelly, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. I'll just buy new earbuds. I'll just buy new earbuds. She's like, no, 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 no. So she gets up there, and I have this picture of her fully balanced inside, like her feet almost straight up in the air, like balancing on the rim of this dumpster, and she's digging through. Like, and
So
of course, on the very last move, there they are on the bottom.
you're
So
there, right
reached
on
them
the ball.
out, my little trash panda.
You like slicked them off and rubbed them on
I
your shirt.
rubbed them on my pants and said, good as new.
Oh, I'm sure the cameras out there were like, what are those two doing? But that was fun. We got a good giggle out of it.
That was
Because
too
we
funny.
found all these items. We came in with like
Yeah.
a box and your things, and it was good.
Oh, yeah. That was so good. I'm like, that was a great trash dumpster dive that didn't need to happen if I would have
Yeah.
just like gone through the stupid box in the first
Yeah.
place.
And then that was it that night that we're trying to go to bed. Everybody's trying to sleep, and you're doing your work still at like 12:30 at night. And I start texting you on Instagram, and we're like back and forth.
And we're in the
Message.
same room. We're in the same room. Kelly's up on the top bunk and I'm on the pull-out couch. So we're in the same room with four
And
other
there's
women,
yeah, three other girls
three other
in
girls,
bed
Amy, Trish, and
trying to
Mandy.
sleep and just giggle, 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 giggle. All the
And
giggles.
finally, Amy, what are you two texting about?
Because we go, and then yeah, it was cute. It was fun. That was such a fun part, is like everybody sharing a room, the
Yeah.
five of us.
Yeah.
And those are the memories too that are so fun and fulfilling and all that too. So,
Yeah, I love
um,
it. I was raised with so many sisters and so many cousins, so that kind of stuff is just like
feels good to
normal for me. It's
yeah,
like natural, normal,
yeah,
no big
I
deal.
love
I'm
that.
looking at my face in this and I feel so red.
No, I'm just very white.
Oh,
You look very tan and your nails still look pretty.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. I only
Yeah.
had one come off and I put it back on.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's all that came off.
They said, well, it didn't even come off. It had just peeled the top. And so it
I'm
looked kind of just like
showing you.
tacky. So I just redid it. But they stay on. These are the stickers. If any of
Yeah.
you have not tried these stickers, I 100% recommend them. You can get them at Ulta or at Target. The ones I really love are super cheap, and I think it's called like Nails Meld or something, but they're the
Oh,
stickers. And for me, when we travel, I just throw them on while we're driving, road trip, or I throw them on the airplane,
that's a good
and you
idea.
just file them off. It's so easy. It's so easy. And
I
of
keep
course,
finding the time
while,
to do it, but
yeah, well, while we're traveling, I can't get my
yeah,
nails done.
you
And
can't paint your nails either, like in the
yeah,
car, because
paint is
everybody
just annoying.
complains. So
And paint chips off so easily. These stay
yeah,
on for like 2 weeks.
that's amazing. Yeah, they look wonderful
Yeah,
because
thanks.
they were on at the retreat. So they're cute. They're
Well,
so cute.
Kelly, what are we going to talk about today? I
We're
really
gonna
wanted to talk about the retreat, so I'm glad we talked about that.
we are
Um,
going to talk a little bit about the retreat
oh,
on
good. That was a
your
question. Nice.
your perspective. Yes.
Oh my
Who is
gosh,
the
am I even
question for
ready
you?
to give you my perspective yet?
Just give me your honest perspective. It, there were so many elements of the retreat. It was
There
just
were.
so many wonderful things and so many life lessons and all so wonderful. And I don't know if you got time to even really think about it that much last week. So we'll see.
Oh,
We'll see.
yeah. In case any of you don't know, I had gone to, so I don't know how the series of events goes exactly, but was Rick gone in between my retreat in Austin and my
He
retreat? Oh, yeah,
he
because he was
oh,
gone the whole week while I
the
was getting
night
ready
of
for
the
my
retreat.
retreat. So
Yes.
I was in Austin for a retreat, a women in business retreat. And then I got home and Rick left to Texas for a shooter school. And then he and we didn't even see each other because I was at my retreat by like what, 2 in the afternoon on Thursday, and he flew home like at 5.
5 or
Yeah,
6.
so he like we crossed paths and never saw each other. So, and then Sunday I got home from the retreat and then we left Tuesday to
Mhm.
Cancun. So I've just been go, 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 go.
Mhm.
And then we got home night before last and my parents were in town. So we just
Mhm.
visited and did some yard work and went up to the cabin to get stuff ready up there. So, oh my
Mhm.
gosh, it is go, go,
Mhm.
go.
Well, and for you, which was so I did learn something about you there that I did not know. You probably learned a whole lot of things about me that I did not know about myself, but where you live in the moment. So I know you enjoyed fully, but then it's done, the retreat is done, and I don't think you've had a chance to even think about it because you're really sitting down and working today. So you might not even have an answer to some of these questions, but we're gonna bring it back in and see.
Go for it. Let's see what comes up. We'll see what bubbles up.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, what has been the most surprising aspect or part of the sisterhood that has happened that you were not expecting? That's not the retreat, but
Actually, the answer to that would be from the retreat,
yeah.
honestly, because and not only from the retreat. So I got on the leader call after the retreat. So the retreat was done Sunday and we have our leader call. I have my call with all of our squad leaders on Mondays and I said to them, "How do I take these emotions, these feelings, this feeling of this community and turn it into words to explain it to people that aren't in here?" You know,
Mhm.
like there's so many women out there that are missing this, that are feeling isolated, that are feeling like, and honestly, the hardest part about it is I didn't necessarily feel like I was missing anything. You know what I mean? I couldn't put my finger on what this kind of a community could have ever done for me. Do you
Mhm.
know? Because when it finally was, oh, something has to give,
Mhm.
it was, I realized that my life was, I couldn't keep up with my life. It was going so fast. It was like those cartoons where you see and your feet are going
Mhm.
so, so, so fast. And then the rest of you can't keep up. And so you fall, right? And that's how I was feeling. But to me, that didn't equate to join a community.
No.
That did, so it was just a series of yeses that brought me to this. So I'm trying to like, hey, ladies, let me cut out this unknown for you, the unknown, the year of unknown that I went through trying to figure out what it was. And now that all these women that are in the sisterhood are pinpointing as well, that we're all saying, oh, that's what was missing,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Maybe you don't necessarily feel like you're isolated. Maybe you don't necessarily feel like life is happening at you, right? Maybe you don't necessarily feel like you get to the end of the day and think to yourself, did I even say anything about myself today?
Mhm.
Did I even acknowledge that I'm a human being today? Or was it all spent focusing on other people and what other people's needs are, right?
Mhm.
I think we just get so used to doing those things that we don't realize that there's a better way,
Yep.
a more healthy way, a happier way to be doing life,
You
right?
described me to a T. Because wasn't I the one that's like, oh, yay, Gina, fun. I'm going to join this. I'm fine. I'm okay. And then you challenged me and all the other women to stop and focus. And wow, is it surprising?
Yeah, it's a lot of it. I hear a lot of, I just don't have any more time. There's not enough time in the day for me
Mm.
to add one more thing, right?
Yep.
There's not enough, but we all have the same amount of time. So, how do people enjoy life
Yeah.
while they're still doing the same things that the rest of us are doing and feel like there's not enough time in the day, right?
So does that surprise you to see that in all the women, how much it has changed their life?
Yeah.
Because they tell you, and it's working, and it's there, and we're feeling it, and we're doing, and we're
Mm-hmm.
acting on it, and we
Yep.
have each other for the sisterhood. Is that the most, do you feel like that is the most surprising that, oh my
It
gosh.
the most surprising is how it feels because I in your head you think, especially because I had the order of man to kind of
Yeah.
see, could see that it was happening, that something, but I'm not in it, so I don't, but when you're in it and you actually feel that these things are happening, or you have these women that are actually telling you what's going on in their lives
Yeah.
for the better, right? And it's just, oh my gosh, it's like I said, how do you put that into words?
It's
And how you were just trying to explain it to your mother-in-law. It's
mm,
so interesting that you said that because my coach just told me you need to be able to tell someone about the sisterhood what it is in one sentence.
mhm.
And she said, then your community needs to be able to say that. I mean, and you need to, this is the sentence. This is how you say it.
Yep.
And so I've been thinking a lot about that. And I think it comes back to being in control of your life and not just sitting back and waiting for life to happen to you.
Yeah.
Right? It gives you the tools to do that.
Yeah. I need that sentence.
I know. I need to make that sentence. Since she gave me that challenge, I've been trying to, because she said, could your fifth grader explain this to someone else? And it was really cute. He actually got in the car while I was finishing up our coaching call. And she asked him, she said, what do you think that your mom does? What does her community do? And oh my gosh, I was dying. His answer was so cute. It was something like, helps women feel good about themselves and not just think that they need to be. And he goes, well, I don't want to offend anybody. And we're like, go ahead, say it. Like, what do you think? And he says, not that so they don't feel like they have to be slaves to people anymore.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, well,
he's very wise.
He ain't wrong.
He's not.
I'm a slave to everybody but myself, right?
Yeah, he's learning too. He's watching everything around you and taking it all in. And I'm glad he recognizes that. It recognizes that, because as a kid, I don't know if I would ever.
Yeah.
So you're being such a good example to them too. So I love that. Great answer. See? So then this goes on to just the retreat, but how do you tell people about your experience at the Revitalize Retreat with emotion behind it?
Yeah, that's the question. That's the question I put before all of you, is how do we explain an emotion? How do you put into words the emotion behind what just happened? Because I asked all of the women who were at the retreat, and I said, what's your takeaway of this, right? And every single one of them had the same answer, but said differently. You can't even understand the support that comes from knowing that all of these women have my back. In whatever decisions I make, they are here to support me and pull me up and never pull me down, right? Yeah. And so everybody said that in so many words, but said it differently. And it's like, how do you share that feeling with other people?
Well, there's 40 women, so 40 times every single one of their perceptions. Yeah. Because you're not saying, for example, Kelly, you need to blah, blah, blah. You're making us reach in within ourselves and think, what do I need? What do I want? And we all want different things, but they're all very common within the realm of womanhood, motherhood, all the things. And we all understand those things. So it's like supporting each other through that. So you're not telling us what to do. You're helping guide us through it. And you're with us on that level, that line you always talk about. So how do you describe everybody's experience?
Well, and I think I've had a breakthrough too when I said, I feel not sad, but like I don't get to have the breakthroughs that everybody else gets to have in their squads, right? Yeah. And so I was like, I shouldn't be denying myself that. And I was like, my leaders are my squad. Yeah. That's kind of like who I should be having these same breakthroughs with, just like how the leaders are having these breakthroughs with their squads. Yep. I should be able to have these breakthroughs with my leaders. Right. And I think once I finally put that together, connected the dots that nobody's expecting. I think a lot of it is I went into this expecting like, and not that I'm leading anything. I'm not saying that. This is not Gina's community. This is the Revitalized Sisterhood. It's not called Gina's community, right? So it's not like I'm like, you do this, everybody do this. I'm dancing puppets here. Yeah. It's, I need to do this too. I need this community too. I want this community to be what I want it to be for me. And so I had a little breakthrough after that retreat in Austin. Was my breakthrough was I need to stop making it all about trying to create systems for everybody, which it needs, obviously I had to create the systems, but now the systems are in place pretty much. I can enjoy them. I can be part of them.
I love that. You're doing
Yeah.
such a good job. So we talk about life.
Yeah, life. Do we have categories today?
Mm.
Usually we have categories. Oh my gosh, it's hot in here. Whew.
Is it?
Oof. Oofta.
It's gonna get hotter because we're gonna talk more about
Hashtag oofta.
Gina. We're gonna talk about Gina. Ooh, hashtag oofta. Yes. Oofta. Minnesotan. Okay. How do you find time and make time for yourself when life is so crazy? How do you do it? What do you do?
I don't necessarily know that I've ever had a hard time making time for myself. I think I've always thought it was important. Well, as in terms of like with my family and we travel, that's very important to me. And we always make time for that. And I go to the gym. My fitness is very important to me. And it has nothing to do, I mean, yeah, of course it has something to do with physical appearance, but it's really more, it just makes me feel good. You know, anybody that goes to the gym and has that routine knows how that is and how it makes you feel. So, I don't know. I think it's just, this is going to be a good one coming into June because June we're bringing back habits as the monthly topic. And so habits are the foundation of living your best life. Honestly, you cannot be living your best life without good habits because that's what you do. Is 95% of what you do every day is, what's it called? Your subconscious,
yeah.
your subconscious
We
mind.
haven't talked about it for a couple weeks. So
Yeah, it's been a minute since I've talked about stuff. I know words. And so it's just happening by itself, right? You just taking a drink of that coffee just happened by itself. You lifted your hand. You didn't have to think to yourself, stop, I need coffee, right hand, move, pick up the cup. You know, it just happened. It's a habit. So when we reprogram these things, you have to be very, very intentional about doing that. And I don't know. I think I've always been pretty good at taking care of myself.
Yeah.
I've always put self-care as a priority. So,
yeah.
I mean, and to what degree? It's all relative, right? Because to one person, self-care means getting your nails done, eyelashes done, Botox done, spa day, going to get a massage, going to get a pedicure, you know what I mean? Like there's so many different levels of that. And for me, it's cleaning. That's a part of self-care for me is cleaning. Like I love watching things become clean.
Yep.
And that's a habit because I've turned it into something I enjoy. I actually was telling Amy, I said, she hates doing the dishes. And I said, you need to make it like habit stack something on top of it that you really enjoy. So for me, when I was cleaning condos, I'd be listening to really good books. Like, and the time would just fly. I'd just be listening to these great books. And so I'd be so excited to clean again because that's when I could be undivided attention to these books. Right. And so I think that did habit stack in a way that made it so cleaning is now something I enjoy.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Does that answer your question?
It does because the next question was self-care. What does that look like for you? And for you, it's different than me. And everybody's is different. Like working out is self-care. You know, people tell me too, like, you need to take care of yourself. I'm like, oh, I am. I'm at the gym every day, you know, and that's you. If you have your top three, right? You're like gym, clean the house, you know, organize something. And if you can do that and make a habit of it, you feel good about yourself. And then you can add on to that if you need to.
Right. Well, what's self-care look like to you?
It is, to me, it's the gym. It's not going for a spa day. I mean, that's great, but that only is a short-term joy where I know that my workouts are a long-term joy for the mental, physical, muscle building, eating better because of it. So self-care for me
and I like it too because it's you control it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? You don't
Yeah.
have to take time to schedule. I mean,
Yeah.
yes, you do have to take time to schedule the gym. So that's not necessarily accurate. But
Yeah.
like as far as scheduling a hair appointment,
Yeah.
I have to get in her books, try to find a time that works,
I
try to
feel like
figure out a babysitter, try to, it's
it's
just,
stressful for me to do that.
yes, some of those things that some
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
that they love that part of it. And I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
ugh. And then, you know what? When you're actually sitting in the chair, it kills me that like I love getting my hair done. So don't get me wrong, but
Hmm.
I sit there and I think, okay, like I'll even tell her sometimes don't style it. Just let it be wet and I'll just go because I have so many other things that I would like to be getting done rather
Yeah.
than just sitting in that chair.
3
Which
hours.
is that just speak volumes
Yeah.
to like us? Like
Yeah.
sit
No.
still a minute and listen to yourself. And it's like, nope, I gotta go.
No. No. My hairstylist.
Remember, Sarah told us if we opened our eyes, we couldn't be present. So
Yeah.
I was like,
Exactly.
I'm not
La, la, la,
opening my
la.
eyes. I'm not opening
I maybe at one point like this to Gina. I was like, oh, Gina's not
my
moving. Okay, I can do this. Okay. Okay. I don't know why we sat by each other or laid by each other.
We should, it ended up being fine. It ended up being fine.
We proved to ourselves.
It's a
Actually,
good thing we couldn't reach each other, like, without it being
yeah,
obvious. Like, I'd have to reach over and smack you. But if our hands would have been able to touch, that could have been a whole different experience. I would have came at you with my claw. Like,
and my jaw was like, that's a whole nother.
oh, that's a whole
That's
episode, you guys.
a
If you
whole
guys have ever done that deep breathing, oh my gosh, holy cow. That is, if you don't know what you're ready, what to expect. If you don't know what to expect, I'm going to tell you before you go do something like that,
It's,
watch a YouTube video or something.
yeah, we should have done that before.
I definitely should have had Sarah like break this down for me.
Yeah.
Because
No,
I think it's like common knowledge for a lot of people.
yeah.
That's like a normal thing, but not
Yeah.
for me.
Hey, one more thing to add about self-care before we move on.
What?
I also feel like self-care is because it's very hard to prioritize sometimes a rally call or a Zoom call but Revitalize Sisterhood is the purest form of self-care that we can do, I think, for ourselves that isn't physical. It's the stopping and thinking, and it is only for myself. It is not for my friends. It is not for my husband. Yes, I'm going to better those relationships, but that I have to sometimes go, this you need to do for yourself, Kelly. This is here for you. It is a service for you. That is self-care. That's the best form of counseling or anything. I mean, not counseling, but that
Coaching.
is coaching for me. So I feel like that really has been new for me in the last year since you've been doing this. I have never taken the time to talk to other women about things. And so
I'm glad that you pointed that out because I do get asked that a lot. How many hours or what's the time required to be part of the sisterhood? And it's like, well, you're going to get out what you put in. So, but there's not a time required, but I will let everyone know so once you're on a squad, you have an hour call each week with your squad and you have an hour call each week with the whole community. And it is exactly. And I've heard a lot of people talk about how that is like Amy goes out and gets ice cream. Her husband knows that is her time to just be her.
She's doing in the car.
Oh, she goes and gets a coffee or she goes and gets ice cream. She just goes and that gets to be her time that she's not bothered by anybody, any external, right? And I love that because relationships and building bonds and being able to hear from other women going through, it's kind of like hearing battle stories, like you're in the trenches with me and hearing people that have the same kind of problems, success stories, whatevers, it makes you feel seen. Right? Like, I see you. How many times do you hear a story and it's like, oh, I feel so validated right now. Hearing this from someone else and a whole group of someone else's, I feel so validated in an experience that maybe I thought was so just specific to me. And it's like, oh no, we're not that unique. We're not. I mean, we're all like-minded. I was explaining in one of the rally calls that this is a group of like-minded women. And when I even first started saying that, I
Mm-hmm.
thought, okay, we're like-minded in politics. We're like-minded in religion. We're like, you know what I mean? We're Christian. We're conservative. So yes, we're like-minded.
Yeah.
That's not it at all.
Mm-hmm.
It's like-minded in the concepts of bettering ourselves through the sisterhood of women who want to support you. We want to support each other, right? It's like wanting to be a hype girl for someone else while someone else gets to be a hype girl for you.
Mm-hmm.
That's the like-mindedness.
Yep. And I think I have heard it from numerous girls on my calls that they don't want to talk about these certain items with their friends or their family because they don't want to take that time away from them or stress them out. So it's really a safe place for them just to share things in here and then just leave it on the table and process it and think about it the next week and be accountable for something too. And that's so cool to see that because even though they still have friendships, that's just something you just leave. Go enjoy your friends, come back with the others, and we all have expectations to help each other,
Yeah.
give and take.
Well, and it's hard to be unbiased when you have a best friend here in town that, or in your church group or whatever, you have this friend. It's hard to be unbiased when you know the other people. Like, say, if Rick and I are fighting and I go and tell one of my friends and they're like, oh, he's such a jerk, And it's like, then they start to see him every day in this way when really the women in this community, if I said this, they would say, well, what did you do to create this? Or what were you doing? What was the real? They're looking for both sides of the stories. They're not going to let me off the hook with just saying Rick's a jerk. They're going to say, what did you do to make him react that way? Or you know what I mean? It's not
completely.
Whereas someone in your everyday life, it's almost kind of like, gosh, you don't want to say superficial because you don't. You feel like you want to feel like those relationships are deeper, but I honestly think you see them so little and so quickly that it really is kind of superficial. How are the kids? How's the weather? How's the gym classes going? It's very, hey, did you know there was a sale at Old Navy today? Like, it's kind of superficial. Yeah. That's interesting.
Because I think there is only so much time with them. So you want to spend the most.
Yeah.
You get an hour to be out with them for a little bit or 2 hours and you just want to have fun and let loose with your friends. But
yeah, it's not the deep work. You don't want to get into this deep every conversation with someone that you're just like, okay, we'll see you later.
Yeah, because it is exhausting.
It is exhausting. It would be exhausting.
Yeah. Even though I'm a deep thinker all the time, I'm always asking the questions. But okay, the next one. Okay, ready for this? What are you still hoping to accomplish in life? That's a big one.
What do I want to be when I grow up?
Yeah. It can be little things. Doesn't have to be too big.
Well, Rick and I actually, I'm going to say this. Rick and I actually decided that we are going to have another baby. Look at my face, just went so red. I'm tan, I swear. I've just been in Cancun.
And look at me, I'm like, surprise! No.
Well, you know how it's been. I've just been back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And Rick actually got mad yesterday, and I'm like, whoa, this is like, you're angry. And he's like, I'm sick of the back and forth. He's like, it's obviously not, should we go to Austin or Tennessee for our food anniversary? This is something that you go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth so much on that it will become a regret.
Yeah.
If you don't do it, it will be a regret. And I'm like, yeah, that's probably true because I'm not going to regret having another baby ever. I'm not going to get there and be like, gosh, just send this one back.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that you included that. What are you still hoping to accomplish? Because you feel that inner need to still have more.
I do. And it's at such a complicated time in which we choose this complicated, right? We choose this for ourselves. Yeah. And we've also decided that we're going to leave and go long-term travel again in August. And we made the decision, drew the line in the sand and said, this is happening. And it's something that we've put off long enough. We didn't think we would be putting it off this long for this Revitalize Womanhood, but we have, and it's been fine. But we had to really sit down and think to ourselves, what do we want in life? We had to be very intentional, like I'm telling everybody to do all the time. Be very intentional, not just letting life happen to you, right? And that's when we get in our fights, and that's when we get upset, is because life's just happening to us. Rick feels like my schedule is just happening to him and he has no control over it, right? I feel like his schedule is just happening to me and I have no control over it. So we had to actually sit down together and say, hey, what do we want? What does it look like? What do we need to do to make that happen? And at the end of the day, who matters, right? Like, obviously, I love the sisterhood. I love this community. I'm not saying that that's the end of that. See you later. No, but it says, guess what? Gina is a mom and a wife first. And so what that looks like is less time here. And that's why it's not Gina's community. That's why I'm trying to build this community to make it something that feeds itself, right? Everybody does it. Every person in this community is the reason this community is beautiful and wonderful, because it's not Gina's community. It's the Revitalize Sisterhood, and it feeds itself. So
yeah, I think that's what people don't see the behind the scenes of that. And it is beautiful because we get perspectives from every leader who's guiding. It's just fun. Yeah.
It is. And I mean, I have the stress of wondering, like, am I building the foundation well enough that it can do that?
Yeah.
That is hard for me, especially when the whole point of a community is people. You have to have people to build a community. And one of my goals was that 100 women had their Kelly this year. So my 1-year goal for this first year of this community was that 100 women had a Kelly. And I cannot make that happen unless I have 50 women at least. I mean, you gotta have at least 50. So,
and I've seen
right?
those
Does that make sense?
You've cultivated those friendships. I mean, the sisterhood has cultivated that.
Yes, it's happening.
It's really fun to watch the girls that are just
it's insane. It's insane. I tried explaining to my mom, because my one sister, I'm like, I really think that she would love this community, and I maybe need to talk to her about it more, but she seems like she's very isolated where she's at, and she's got all of her kids and all of their schedules, and that's what she does a lot. That's her life, is focusing on them, which a lot of us, that's the same thing. But for 2 hours a week, it is all about you. I mean, more if you want it to be, but for 2 hours a week, it is all about you and about getting together with other women that are, you're now feeling seen, heard, loved, right? And you get to not only feel that and take it in, but you get to give it.
Yeah.
I told Rick, I said, you don't understand. That is one of the most rewarding parts of this, is being able to give what I can to anybody in here, right? And maybe it'll help them, maybe it won't, but like, that's so rewarding for me.
I love that. And I know everybody here knows you want to accomplish more travel, right? That's on your accomplishment, but family first, and then go with it that way.
Yeah,
too.
that was a discussion Leah and I had, was it doesn't feel like there's a community out there. Maybe I'm a pioneer. I mean, I'm sure there are some, I just don't know of them yet, but so Leah was same thing. We were both searching for something, and either you get one that doesn't focus at all on business and betterment and habits, it's just more about being a good person, right? You either have this spectrum, or you have this one that's like, be a corporate success, your kids have nannies, your family gets run outside of your help, right? And which is fine I'm not shaming that. There's no shame or blame, but there is a whole category of women that's being left out, right? It's the women that want to do all the things, but we do put our family first.
Yeah.
So
you have to.
Yeah.
I love that. I can't believe you just broke that to me on here.
by the way. But so today, so that was last night. So Rick this morning says, so I know, I'm like, well, that was last night. So today I was like, never mind. No. But so today he's like, so like now? And I'm like, no. Like he thinks I'm going to die. He honestly thinks that I am like world record, old lady, cannot have kids. And I'm like, we're fine.
Yeah, you're tougher than
I hope.
no, you
I'm
are.
going to add that in. I hope. Maybe I better go talk to my doctor before I start saying I'm going to be totally fine, but I hope.
You'll be okay. You'll be okay. You just love your babies.
I do.
Okay, the next one is a total shift here.
Okay. All right.
Okay, if you can meet anybody or anyone, alive or deceased, who would it be? Think about it for a second. Anybody, anybody, anybody.
This is like one of those questions that you ask smart people.
I don't know who came up with it. It wasn't me. That's what you ask smart people. No, you are smart.
Because I don't think I have ever, that goes to my personality a lot, that I don't think about
Other.
I'm pretty much just stay here in the present. Like I'm very in the present moment. So I'm not like, if I could do that, I would do that. Or if I would have been able to do that, I would have done that. I'm very in the present moment. Rick will even start to think way ahead. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm just going to get through tomorrow. So I will check back with you on that. Like I do my best because we have to plan things, but I don't know. I've never, ever thought about that. Who would yours be?
I don't know.
It's a smart person question.
I'm glad I don't have to answer this one,
I just have to clean some toilets today, so I don't know. I have to feed my kids. I don't know.
I'm not a big history buff either, so I don't feel like I would have loved to see someone. If I could meet someone that was alive, let's start there. Someone. I like whoever's around me. I don't think I need Tim McGraw.
And Faith. I'll take them both. I'm not going to be prejudiced. I'll take them both.
We'll take the McGraws and the Hills. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. That's so
or
funny.
Turn around. Turn around. Look at your wall.
Oh, I know.
Do you still want to meet her? Would you want to meet her? Or you're like,
nah.
You're friends.
Isn't that interesting? They say never meet your heroes.
Yeah.
But I pretty much think that's a pretty good.
Let them be your inspiration.
Who would have been interesting to me would have been Abraham Lincoln. I think he was a cool dude.
That sounds really smart. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Keep going.
I don't know. Who wrote? We're gonna find out who asked that. They stumped me because that's my answer. Is I'm pretty much
I want to know who they would have met. Maybe that's something we should start thinking about.
Yeah, it's true.
Thinking maybe like a great grandma or something. I don't know.
That would be cool. That would be cool.
Back in the day, but it wouldn't
because especially the people that came and settled America. That would be crazy cool to hear those stories.
Yeah.
So
we want to meet the people who came to America first, and they were our people.
Yeah, the people who made it so I'm not living in England anymore, or I'm not.
Oh, I kind of want to be in England.
In Scotland or something.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
I go back.
I love this question because
that's a good question. I'm going to put that in the leader chapter and ask everybody what they would say. Because that's my answer is I'm pretty much.
Yeah. I'm going to ask Matt that when he gets home.
Oh my gosh. Rick has, I know for a fact. And I know for a fact Matt would have this too. I bet you money they both spout off like 3 people instantly.
Okay. You let me know what Rick's answer is by the end of the day and I'll let you know what Matt's is. And then we'll be really smart next time we ask that question.
Yep. Don't forget to ask your 5 whys. Why?
Yes.
Why? Oh my gosh. My hair. I washed it so it's clean, but man, did these curls not stay.
Oh, I think at least you had curled your hair.
Yeah.
So. Okay, this next one, I don't know who asked, but I love it.
Oh boy.
Woo! I get excited for some of these. I'm like, ha ha ha. Okay. What's an embarrassing thing you've done and never told anyone about? See, now you tell everybody.
I tell everybody everything. So I
What's
don't,
something you haven't told maybe your listeners? Something embarrassing you've done. Oh gosh. See, I feel like I could
do
answer
you
that.
know what's so funny? You could. What would you say?
I'm not
Because
saying
honestly,
it.
yes, say it. Because I'm not really a kind of person that gets embarrassed. I kind of just go
Yeah.
with it. Like if something embarrassing, quote unquote, happened,
Mhm.
I'd be like, "Oh man, own it." Like,
You
I don't
know
know, what
what?
do you fart in the aisle and people are
Yeah.
like, "What?" And I'm like,
Yeah.
"Sorry." Like what do you do?
I love about you is that you can laugh at yourself in
Yeah.
of it. And that's what I'm teaching my boys. You need to laugh. I mean, I've always said that. Laugh at yourself. If you can learn to laugh at yourself, life is a whole lot easier. I
Yeah.
think you go with your embarrassing moments and laugh at it. And then you can't wait to tell somebody about it because you're a storyteller.
I want to know what you think it is.
Well, didn't
Or
you say
the wait, one that you would
the pain? I can't.
do it.
I can't.
You can't. This is Kelly's embarrassing moment.
Now, am I getting finally getting tan red in this? No. I see, and I can't think of, I honestly can't think of, I've never done anything embarrassing. Ever. Never.
I am gonna ask Rick this one too.
It
Because
almost
he's
puts us on. Like if we did something stupid, we'd be like, you, somebody's got to hear this is a good story.
yeah, right? That's the thing. It's like, oh, someone's got to hear this, but I can't even think of one right now. Maybe I should start reading these questions before you give them to me.
Yeah, no, that's part of the fun. That was a very Minnesota no, but that's
No.
part of the fun. So we'll think on that.
Embarrassed. When's the last time I felt embarrassed? That was loud.
That is, I hear that. It sounds nice out there.
I don't remember the last time I felt embarrassed. I mean,
Once again,
like this is a funny story, and I guess there was some embarrassment to it, but by this point in childbirth, like
yeah,
dignity is so far in the rear view, like there's
yeah,
no
yeah.
dignity. So
Let's
there's a
hear it.
couple childbirth ones, and I think all women can relate to this.
Yeah.
So with my first one with Castle, oh my gosh, I was so the epidural, just everything was numb. I mean, neck down for hours, 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 and hours, hours, which was actually nice because by the time I had him and went back to my room, I could actually get up and go to the bathroom. But so there was at one point my leg, no, it was, they had to be rolled over. You know how you have to go to your left side or something to get the heart rate to try to fix the heart rate. So I'm like, what am I going to do? So the nurse had Rick get the sheet and like pull it. You know what I mean? So like
He's turning.
full on free willied me over like beached well style with the sheet. And I'm like, like I might as well have had a sound with it. Like it was horrible. But I mean, what do you do? I have an even funnier one, but this is a little okay, moms maybe don't have, I mean, it's not that bad, but
No, tell
so
it.
with Locke, and I don't know how much I can say. I'm taken care of when I go in to have my babies, right? I'm not just like, it's not a shock to me. I'm go in and I'm ready and everything's ready,
Prepped.
right? I'm prepped, okay?
Yes.
No one has to do the prep work for me. I'm prepped.
Right.
And so it was funny to me that when we finally decided we were going to have a C-section, I was getting checked. The doctor was checking me, and the nurse comes in, who I love this nurse. She was with me the whole time. I just love her to bits and pieces. And she comes in and sits next to the doctor with some bing, like a razor, like clippers.
Oh
Like
yeah, the Clippers.
the clippers.
Yep.
And he's sitting here checking me, talking to me, and she's looking me. I mean, everybody's like looking me right in the eye while she's just
Uh-uh.
and I'm like, what are you even doing down there? There's like no need for you to even be there. So I was so baffled by
Yeah.
the whole,
Yeah.
what are you even doing?
Yeah. She just assumed that you just like,
No, I think they just needed to make sure, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. But it was funny. It was,
that is, I think everything is mortifying when it comes to that too, because it's so unexpected. And with the C-section, it's like,
oh,
all right. And they want to hurry. So they're
oh, I
like,
did. So that just, I just
you
thought
have
of
a
my
checklist
most
that just, yeah.
embarrassing. And I'm not
Yeah.
even going to talk about it on this because it's
Yeah.
all about, let's just It's the worst thing that's ever happened to me in my life. If you want to hear the story, come and ask me. I will talk about it anytime, not on the air, only because, not because I'm embarrassed of it, but because it's like, that is a very TMI of a very TMI nature. And I will leave you with always take your magnesium.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. That's it.
That's good. We're going to find that person who asked that question and we're going to ask them theirs.
Yeah. What's yours?
That's so funny. Okay.
So funny.
Okay. So the last question before I ask it, do you do the love languages? Do you know your love language?
Not really, kind of. Like I don't know them. I haven't read the book, but I know them like of them. You know what I mean? Like mine are words of affirmation. Rick's is words of affirmation, but now it's like physical touch. He would have never said physical touch ever before, but it definitely is.
Yeah, hugs even. Just a hug or a like hand holding even. Okay. I don't know why I thought this would help. Maybe we'll see. What is it's a very broad. What is the nicest thing someone has done for you? The nicest thing someone has done for you. I mean, it can be.
Well, Rick made it so we could travel around the world. I mean, he's literally given me the world.
Oh,
you know, that's pretty nice.
Oh, I love that. And that wasn't words of affirmation. Because I'm like, maybe it would be.
Yeah, that would be gift giving.
So, but that's not like he didn't give you a present. He gave you the
world.
World.
I know. I say that all the time. He's literally given me the world.
And he has, and he wants to keep doing that. That's very, and that's not even nice. That is like considerate of your family and the one life. Oh, one life, so live. How funny that just slipped right in there.
Yep. That is our motto.
Life, and he knows. So it's beyond nice.
Wrap it up with that barf-a-roni, me saying my husband's given me the world.
I thought it was
nice. Barf, Gina.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to
don't worry, we've fought for it too.
You bet you did.
I fought tooth and nail for it.
You still fight for the schedule of it, and it's not easy. It's not like you guys are just like, ooh. I mean, he has a lot of planning that goes into it, and it's intentional planning. Anybody can plan a trip, but when you watch Rick plan,
oh my gosh, it's so much detail and so much work he puts into it. And then what we're going to need for it, because people don't realize that. I mean, you go on a trip and so you think, this is my stroller, right? Okay. Well, I have to think about what size the car is, how much room we have, which stroller I take. Okay, well, are we going to Europe where it's going to be a lot of cobblestone streets? I'm not taking this stroller because the wheels are horrible, You have to think about what the weather is going to be like. And if we're there for 3 months, what the weather is going to be like then in the next place, It's
well,
there's a lot of planning that goes through it.
Like locks in a different states.
Oh, yeah.
Baby.
Every time we go to Alaska, my kids have grown out of the stuff we left the year before.
So you don't have, and the car seat's going to be different, and the stuff is going to be different. Are you guys going, I mean, you were thinking United States. Are you going outside?
Yeah, I think we're going to leave.
Okay.
I think we're going to go to Europe for the first 3 months. So.
Okay, awesome. Good. I get to watch you. Take me along. Show me the world.
Yep. Put you in your little Kelly pouch and take you along. Like I do every day. Come on, Kelly, let's go to Home Depot.
Where are we going? I'm like, yes, I get to go to Walmart today with Gina.
All right, girl. I have to jump on this other call.
Oh, yeah, you got one on. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I love it when you come and hang out with me. It's so fun.
I love it. So
this is like our little in-between before I get to come. You were in Utah and now I get to come to Minnesota and I'm so excited.
In like 3 weeks. So something like that.
I'm going to start a tear chain.
Yeah, it is.
Countdown chain.
Please do. Thank you.
Okay, I love you. Thanks, girl.
I love you too. Bye.